today's conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 14th of November 2021, and the time now is 6:16 a.m. Well, our topic today discuss about the Pratfall effect. And before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. Firstly, this is something psychological, and for me, this is the first time that I uh, heard about this platform effect. And previously, if I didn't think of these things, and normally I would think if somebody make a mistake, and then we must give a negative judgment to this guy. And but in the topics today, it seems like uh, it is not a sure thing, and then it depends on the individual's uh, 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 competency. Yeah, and whether this guy is highly able or this guy is uh, not so competent. Yep, and then um, yeah, for this one, it is kind of um, I feel like kind of like surprising. Yep. And then also when I read about the link that you share with me, inside the link it is some discussion about platform effect from Wikipedia. And I have a feeling, which is a topic we discussed before. That is about the topic. I forgot the name of the topic, but it is about something like what you dislike, um, uh, what other people's attitude that you dislike, and then maybe you yourself has this kind of attitude. Let's say if you hate people coming late to coming late or appears late, and then maybe in your mind you are struggling with this thing. Maybe sometimes you also rush to the to your destiny, and then you find it you're almost going to be late. Yeah, so maybe these kind of things you don't want to see, but the other people do it, and then you feel like uncomfortable in your mind. Yeah, so for this one also I think there are some similarity here, which is people when they see an average guy and then he did some mistake, and the observers themselves they have a feeling like they don't want to see this because it is like if the average people make a mistake, um, has got something to do with the observers. Yeah, they can link the mistake to themselves, and maybe have the feeling like they could also did this kind of mistake. So I think so because of this, and the the sympathy doesn't take place here, and then that's why the observers didn't judge the person positively, and it judged the average guy who made a mistake uh, actually negative in a negative way. Yeah, and for the people that they are competent, they are highly able, and then because we won't compare ourselves with those highly able people, so um, maybe we will compare, but we won't compare so uh, so closely. We won't think ourselves to be as competent as that guy. Uh, and that's why when that when those competent person they make a mistake, and then we will not compare directly for their mistake and for ourselves, and then we will have the sympathy for this guy because uh, we didn't affected by the comparison, and then that's why sympathy can comes out. And when sympathy comes out, and we kind of generate the feeling of respect, and then the feeling of liking to this person. This is my understanding for this Pratfall effect. Yeah, and yeah. So I think these are some of my understanding.
But why this Pratfall effect is for high able people but not average people?
Ah, yeah. Because for the observers, we are considered to be average, and then uh, we won't see ourselves highly competent. And so when average people make a mistake, we will also have a feeling like we make a mistake because we are both average person, and then we will compare the others and ourselves. It is a little bit like when you watch a video, and then maybe you are watching a video which is the sports program, and then you will feel excited because you've got a feeling like you are the person doing the sports also by just watching it. So I think this is something similar, which is you see somebody make a mistake, and you also have a feeling like you make a mistake, or maybe in the future you will make a mistake like this. So you don't like to see this, you feel uncomfortable. But for highly competent person, you won't compare yourself so directly to them. So uh, you won't affected by this.
Yeah. We weren't affected by this, but why we would like them more if they make mistake?
Um, oh, I think this is because the feeling like um, you feel like that person is more real, they are more genuine, because you can see they also make some mistake. This is the kind of like something like permission of a human. Everyone makes mistake, and if somebody make a mistake, you feel like this guy is actually um, is actually a normal one, a normal guy, but somehow he is competent.
Yeah. So in your opinions, uh, the people think, sorry, the people see other higher competence person make a mistake, they'll think, yeah, mm, it actually there's not much gap between me and them. Is it something like that? So so they
Oh,
feel happy, yeah, because maybe to reach their level uh, don't really need too much effort.
oh, um, maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, because I'm not really sure why you bring up the the point that we see other average person make mistake and we'll feel annoyed because it indicates we may also because we are like them, yeah,
Mm,
and we are just same as them, and that means in future we also make the same mistake, yeah, and if this is for average people, and what is the comparison between the high competence people, yeah, so
mm,
uh but just now you say. for average people, we have one set of thinking, which we will feel annoyed because we think we'll make mistake in future.
Mm,
How
yeah.
about for high competence people? And then you say it's just we think they are real and they are normal people, and it seems like there's no linking. So, uh,
I think maybe one more point can be carried out here, which is the competent people. Um, Maybe I think we have the feeling of admire to that guy, and then um, when they make a mistake, um, yeah, we feel like they are more real, something like that. But for average people, we don't have the feeling of admire. So when they make mistake, yeah, just like I said, it referred to our uh, it made us compare ourselves and with them.
hmm. Yeah, but how do you define high competence person?
For this one, actually, I think if we are the observers, let's say we have uh, uh, two examples. The first example is we ourselves are very competent, and then the uh, the so-called the blunderer. The blunderer is the person who make the mistake, who is also highly competent. And in that case, I think maybe this Pratfall effect will have some different results, which is because we will also compare ourselves with the blunderer. Yeah, but for the second example, if let's say we are an average guy, or maybe we are quite competent, but the blunderer is even more competent than us. Yeah, so in that case, the comparison of ourselves and the blunderer will not be so direct. So, and then because they are more competent than us, so we will have the feeling of admire. We will respect him, and then when he make mistake, we will feel like this is something um, forgivable, and then we'll feel like he's also a human, and then he can make mistake also, and it is more real, something like that.
Hmm. Okay, but how about the nature of the mistake and also the size of the mistake? Does it matter?
The size of the mistake, actually for this, I am not very sure because in the link that you share with me, inside that there is a part which is so-called the the minor mistake and a major mistake, and it seems like the the major effect, the major mistake, um, actually make that person. I forgot what I read. It seems like the major one make the blunderer more likable, but the minor one seems like uh, um, didn't give a positive uh, a positive feedback from the observers.
Do you think it makes sense to you?
Um, it doesn't make sense because um, yeah, a minor mistake. To me, I think a minor mistake uh, is more likely to generate positive results if we talk about platform effect.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
a major mistake, I think nobody like to see a major mistake.
Hmm. Yeah. And it reminds me few of the example.
Hmm.
And in Hong Kong, there's one of the action actors. Is a very popular and famous actors, which is called uh I think it's called Jackie
Oh,
in
Jackie Chan,
Chinese.
right?
Yeah, Jackie Chan. Yeah, in Chinese, Chen Long. And uh, I think few years ago or maybe a decade ago, and he make a very huge mistake,
Hmm.
and he kind of like have an affair. Yeah,
mm,
had uh, affair,
yeah,
and so uh, he was being discovered, and then he say something like, I just make a mistake that they that every man will make. Sorry,
mm,
I just make the mistake that every man in the world will make. Yeah,
mm,
and and it actually, uh, yeah, his code is spread well spared, and until now still a lot of people like kind of like bring it out, and then it kind of like become a meme. Mm.
yeah,
And also it some and other and one another example in Singapore, which is the I don't know his English name, but his Chinese name is called Liang Zhiqiang,
oh,
and this is also a very famous director in
yeah,
Singapore. And but after a event, and he becomes not that famous. And
mm,
why is the event is also he have an affair. Yeah,
yeah,
and this is a huge mistake, right?
yeah, yeah. This is a quite huge, major
Mm.
one.
Yeah, but and how about the picky, the the
Mm,
the the Mr. Luo? Mm.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That one is also similar.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah, and so yeah, so I think yeah, I also think minor mistake mm, will be more applicable
mm,
for this Pratfall effect, not the major one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
But somehow for Jackie Chan, I think the major that the major mistake that he made actually didn't affect much of my attitude toward this actor. Somehow he uh, but I think I didn't like him more. Yeah, I don't um, I don't have this kind of attitude, but somehow the attitude of me can be kind of like no effect before and after the mistake he made.
mm,
Hmm. Yeah, but for show lore, I think um, I think many people have a negative attitude or judgment to show lore, and then I don't know why. Maybe it's the competency. Yeah, competency of him is actually kind of like 被质疑 is um, um, how to say his competency is not really
questionable,
acknowledged. Sorry.
being questioned.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Many people question his competency, and he has got one name, which is the something like the king of the dance in Asia. And when you talk about this, many people disagree with this, and so I think maybe it's the competency, the problem of competency with Show Law, even though he is very uh, famous. Yeah. So I think that the attitude of me towards him of making this mistake is a negative result.
Uh, do you miss the show law is is like less competence compared to the Jackie Chan?
Yeah, yeah. To me, it is like that.
Okay, I don't think this is purely the Pratfall effect. Yeah. And I wouldn't see a thing like this, and I wouldn't like
Mm,
compare them together and just narrow my visions and try to compare terms and then just look at from one of the perspective, which from just one perspective, the Pratfall effect, I would see things like this.
Yeah.
And the major effect, the major differentiation, I would say, Jackie Chan made a mistake a few years ago. At that time, the internet is not so so popular, and not many people can spread their voice through the internet. But now the world is different. Yeah. And the second
Yeah.
is uh the fans, the fans base of Jackie Chan normally is male, is men.
Mm.
But the fans base of Show Law is female. Yeah.
Mm.
I think these two are the biggest factor.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I
Maybe
agree.
maybe they will have some platform effect inside, but the platform effect being offset by these two effects.
Mm.
We also have a lot of psychology bias. For example, mm, when people say something, we tend to agree. When a lot of people say something, and we will agree more. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah.
we are the sheep, follow the majority. This is also one of the psychology uh flaw
Effect.
or psychology bias. Yeah. And yeah, so yeah, okay. For my opinion on the platform effect, I think this is the real effect. And in some circumstances, uh, it can really like uh benefit you. It can also sometimes like uh give you some trouble. And I don't fully take what the Wikipedia says. Okay.
Mm.
And the first thing I don't agree is the Wikipedia say this is more uh okay, the Wikipedia say this is uh more often seen in men, and women tend to not affected by the boy effect. Yeah.
Mm.
This is something that I this is something that I disagree, and I'll tell you why later. And
Mm.
I would say this is more applicable to men. Yeah. But for women also affected. Yeah. So uh and why it more applicable to men? And I give you an example. Many men like innocent girl,
Yeah.
and it result many girls tend to act innocent. Yeah. So this is a
Mm.
very simple example, but this is a very powerful example to uh, to to explain this Pratfall effect.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, and and girls like kind of like uh, make the mistake purposely. Yeah, make the mistake purposely. So, but men, this is a very serious. Yeah, this is a very silly mistake. But men, if the girl is beautiful, yeah, if the girl is cute, and men will say, "Wow, you are so cute." Yeah, men like this. Mm.
Yeah.
But but how about but how about when this is an ugly girls, and
Mm.
men don't like their mistake?
Yeah.
uh, yeah, and uh, okay, and yeah, Mr. K, can you um Can I
Yeah,
wait to a few minutes? I end the call first, later I call back to you.
yeah. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, all right. So we start recording again.
And yeah, just now I talk about the men and the girls. And yeah, girls create and form a strategy that try to make some uh silly and stupid mistake, and then the man will think it's cute, and they will increase the like for.
Mm,
Yeah, and try to imagine other example. And when a man wooing a girl, and then uh if you keep showing your strength, and girl will less likely to want to bother you. But if you if you show your weakness to her with a good timing, and it can trigger their female sympathy, and then you can move the relationship forward and move the relationship closer. So I think mm, this is not only applicable for men, and it also applicable for women. Yeah, and many men also know how to use these strategy to kind of attract the girls. Mm. And in the Wikipedia, and there are some few reasons of this Pratfall effect. And first, the self-esteem, which is the ability, just like you said, and average people uh, don't like to see other average people make mistake, because they think this is the mistake they also will make. Yeah, in futures. And this, and in the Wikipedia it say the low self-esteem, for the low self-esteem person. And yeah, and they are more likely to be affected. Mm. And for this one, uh, uh, I'm not very sure, but uh, I tend to don't take the point.
mm,
And because as so far as we know, self esteem has a few types. And the writer of the Wikipedia who write this, and who write about the self esteem, the this is about the dependent self esteem. Yeah. So I don't think um, yeah okay I don't think self esteem is the major factors here. And another factor is, I would think, this is because of the distance. You For example, a high competence person who make a mistake,
mm,
mm, initially you think the distance between you and them, and the gap between you and them is quite far. And if they make some mistake, and then the distance, the gaps is become smaller, and you think this is something the person you are you are able to interact, you and him are in the same world. Yeah.
mm,
So uh yeah, and this is also this is also another another example, which is a charming girl, which is a beautiful girl who make a mistake, versus an ugly girl who make a mistake.
yeah.
And yeah, and the first is men men want to men want to get the charming girl, and don't want to get the ugly girl.
Mm,
And so they are interested to the charming girl, and he kind of like trying to do something to please the girls, trying to like uh get the relationship closer. Yeah.
mm,
And if the charming girl make the mistake, and then the man can help her, and the man will think, yeah, I have more chance to get her. And how
mm,
about the ugly girl? Men don't have any interest on her. So just treat it as other men. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is one of the examples. The closeness and the willingness. Uh, Whether you want to you want to like closer the distance.
Mm.
And in this, in the Wikipedia, there's also one another uh factor can affect the Pratfall effect. And but this is not the reason. This is the effectiveness. And it talk about it. There's one study, there's one experiment, which is the chocolate. And the chocolate is uh, this is called the low effort processing condition versus non-low effort, which is the high effort processing
Mm.
condition. And what does it mean? And low effort processing condition, that means when okay the whole experiment is like this. And the researchers mm, prepare a chocolate. Yeah, prepare chocolate. And the package of the chocolate is transparent and in the plastic, and the chocolate in the plastic bag. And then so the buyer, which is the students,
Mm.
can see how the chocolate look like. And
Yeah.
the researcher will tell the students, and yeah, uh, this chocolate is very delicious. Yeah. and and the chocolate maybe is big brand chocolate, in is very expensive chocolate. And yeah, it's expensive, and now we want to sell.
Mm.
And then the price is 50% lower. Yeah, so it's half of the full price. And but the students can see, yeah, but the student can see the chocolate is broken.
Mm.
Yeah. And the researcher also say that, yeah, uh the reason we want to sell this chocolate is because the chocolate is broken. Yeah. And so uh one of the group is the students are going to uh go into the exam room. So yeah, and this kind and the researcher classified this kind of person is low effort processing condition, because when they make the decision whether they want to buy the chocolates, they have other things. Yeah, they uh they need to take the exam, and this is a big thing for them. And so they don't spend too much time, they don't spend too much energy and effort on deciding whether they want to buy the chocolate or not. Yeah. And another group, which is the student, just walking on the street, nothing to
Yeah.
do. Yeah, just leisurely walking on the street. And then when the researcher asked them whether they want to buy this chocolate or not, yeah, and they are walking on the street, and the researcher also say the same thing. And what's the result? The result is the student who are going to take the exam more likely to buy the chocolate. And also they'll buy more. Yeah. uh I miss sorry I means sorry the student who are going to take the exam
Mm.
are more likely to buy to buy a chocolate, because after the research, and the researcher see the data, and uh there are more students who are going to take the exam uh buy the chocolate, compared to the quantity of students who are actually walking on the street uh buy the chocolate.
Mm.
So this is about low effort processing condition. Yeah. And what does it mean? What is the implication? It actually means that the Pratfall effect doesn't work doesn't work if we are able to focus on the decisions. Yeah, if we are
Mm.
able to focus on the judgment. Yeah. So uh yeah, and you also can try to uh link this to the show law show law case, because this is something like the entertainment news for people nowadays. And yeah, and we are surfing the internet, we are surfing this news when we are I mean during our leisure times. And so people have more time to judge the case. Yeah. So the Pratfall effect doesn't work, because at that current moment we can put more effort to process the data, to process the information. Yeah. And also another implication is uh, the researcher found that if they say the bad things after the good thing, which is the chocolate is broken,
Mm.
but the chocolate is delicious, it comes from big brands, yeah, and it's very expensive, something like that, and it doesn't work that well. Yeah, and there's no much difference. Yeah, there's no much difference. So I mean, in the result, there's no much difference to reflect the Pratfall effect. So that means, uh, if you want to if you want to make use of this Pratfall effect, you need to say
Mm.
something bad after the good things. Yeah. So initially you say the strength, and then after you finish the strength, and then you mention a little bit of your minor mistake, minor weakness. And the researcher also found that uh and yeah, as long as this uh the weakness affect is not affect the, I mean, it's not the main consideration
Mm.
of the buyer. Let's say like the chocolate. Yeah, for example, if the chocolate is not only broken, it's a melting chocolate, and it will affect the decision. Definitely, it will affect the decision. Yeah. And for example, if you let's say if you want to buy something, let's say if you want to uh let's say you want to buy some milk, okay, and yeah, the milk is come from a big brand, and then well packaged, yeah, and it's very expensive milk,
Mm.
yeah, and is produced and also is imported from New Zealand, so from uh, some country that we think they produce the luxury milk,
Mm.
and and now the price is half of the full price. You know why? Because it expired. Yeah. So will you buy the milk? No, right?
No. Mm.
Yeah. So this is the point, which is um the mistake and also the weakness cannot affect uh the product itself. Yeah. It cannot against with the reason that you want to buy the product. For
Mm.
example, you want to buy the product, you want to buy the milk is for drinks, but it's expired. Yeah.
Mm.
So it couldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you think if the package is let's say have some minor damage, but the milk is didn't spread out. Yeah. So it's still okay. Yeah. For some people, it's still okay if the price is cut off. Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. And so what's the implication? The implication here is maybe we do something the opposite all the time. Why? Because we always say the good news before saying the bad news, right?
Mm.
Mm, yeah. So yeah, maybe we should say the good news first. Then after that we mention the bad news. Yeah. And also it made me think. Yeah. Um. Mm, yeah. When when people when people say the bad news first versus when people say the good news first, which one you more focus? Which which one you remember more. And some people say, yeah, because we have another psychologist effect, which is if the thing is coming to the end, is more near to you,
Yeah.
and the timing is more near to you, uh you can remember more, and uh it will it will in your memory, yeah,
Mm.
and and you tend to remember the things
Yeah.
more
Middle
than
is right.
the former one. So there's some conflict here. Yeah.
Mm.
So we need to see whether why is why is the mm, why is the effect, and why is the uh so what I want to say is whether the good news is really good, how good is it, and also the bad news, is it really bad, and how bad is it? We need
Mm.
to take into consideration about the size, the effect of the good news and the bad news, and then we decide whether we want to mention the small one first, whether we want to mention the good one first, or the bad one first. And for this, I think if the bad news is really really small, yeah, is really like nothing won't affect your decision, and then you may say the good first. And then after that, you add one line, add one sentence. Yeah. Although it has some weakness, but it doesn't matter. Something like that. Yeah.
Mm.
And if you say something like, okay, about this product, and I have one good news and one bad news. So I'll tell you the bad news first. So it's kind of like make the things more serious, and
Mm.
people will
Yeah.
tend to remember the bad things more.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. And okay, and when talk about the mistake, because the Pratfall effect is talking about the mistake, and we also have some strategy to deal with the mistake. Yeah. And I also mentioned this in the past, and I show you before. And the first is be honest, and also be confident. Don't give excuse, and take real action to avoid the same mistake in future. Yeah. And for example, like yesterday, I make a mistake, which is uh, I forget to prepare the reading session. And actually, I can give a lot of reason. I can give a lot of excuse, which is I'm too busy in this week. Okay, but actually, this is not the case. I just really forget. You want to say I don't have time to prepare? No, I have time to prepare. I just forget it. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, of course, I can say something like that. I can say I forget to I can say like I have no time to prepare. This week is quite busy, and but actually I clear one annual leave in this week. So you want to say I don't have time? Not really. Yeah,
Mm.
and yeah, I just forget. So um, yeah, and this is kind of like the first point, which is be honest. And this be honest, not only be honest to other people, and also be honest to yourself,
Mm.
and don't give excuse. Yeah, and take the real action to avoid the same mistake in future. And it can give you the awareness. It can give me the awareness. Yeah. Why why I will forget to prepare for the reading session. Yeah. And the first reason is normally I how I prepare the reading session is actually I read the paragraph more than like 1 week or more than 2 weeks
Mm.
uh, material, and then so that I won't get into the trouble. And because in weekday I really can't uh, I really cannot effectively, I say effectively, to take out the time to read the book. Yeah, of course, I can form a habit. Yeah, I can form a habit maybe in the night time, not in the daytime.
Yeah.
Because in the morning I'm rushing. Yeah,
Mm.
I'm rushing, so I don't have the time like in the past. I need to go out earlier, 15 minutes. I need to go out to work 10 minutes earlier, sometimes it's 15 minutes earlier. So in morning, I don't have much time to do that. And even though I can do that, it's just 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes to 10 minutes, and I need to like turn on my laptop, and then I need to open the Jam uh Google Doc. Yeah, every time I open it, it takes a few minutes. Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
for example like 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, so I think you also same, right? Because the
Yeah.
file is quite big. Yeah, so it really not effective. Mm,
Mm.
for me. Yeah, for me. And I think, yeah, so what is a good strategy for me? Yeah. So first, maybe I can read in the night. In the night, maybe I have like 20 minutes, or I can take out like 20 minutes or 30 minutes to read the book every night. Okay. Or I have another strategy, which is I read far more. Yeah, far more than the initial what I prepare. Yeah.
Mm.
So that means like uh mm, in the past I prepare like 1 week or 2 weeks volume, and now what I can do when I have a free time, I can just read the book. Yeah, I don't treat it like preparing for the reading session. I just read the book. Mm,
Mm. Yeah.
yeah, I just read the book when I have free time, and so I can finish the book. And after I finish this book, and I don't need to bother about the reading sessions. And this is effective strategy for me because this is also what I did in Atomic Habit book. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So yeah, this is something that I can do, so can avoid the same mistake in futures. Yeah, and yeah, and one of one one of another. Okay, and try to imagine. Yesterday I give an excuse. Let's say I feel busy. I'm busy in
Mm.
the week, and I have a lot of things to do. And then yeah, after we finish the reading session, and I will forget the thing, and I forget the thing, and then not uh very likely, which in future I'll make the same mistake. Yeah. So mm, yeah. So which one is better? Yeah, which one is better? And also at the current moment, you say you are busy. That's are you really busy? Yeah. So this is also another problem.
Mm.
Yeah. And
Yeah. Is it something
maybe
like?
the counterparty found
Yeah.
what? Something like
Yeah.
what?
You continue first.
Uh, maybe in the week I say I'm busy, but the counterparty found that I'm not busy. Yeah. And
Mm.
because you see, you you have a lot of reasons. You can have a lot of excuse, but
Yeah.
people can spot it. The first is, for example, just very easy one. You look at the Google Doc, and then you see what's the last time these people read this book.
Mm.
What's the last time this person opened this file? Yeah, and
Yeah.
and you can't visit every day, right? So
Mm.
this is one of the reasons to spot the line. Yeah, to stop my to spot my line. And also in this week, I actually it's not busy because and also I spend some of the time to doing to restructure the, the English conversation list. Yeah, instead of doing it in Google Doc, and I try to think whether is there any way, is it to in Excel to do in Google Sheet. And but this one I still I'm still trying. And yeah,
Mm.
and I think you can see I actually uh share the file. to our email address, right? The daily English conversation, the
Hello.
daily conversation one. Hello, hello.
Yeah, a bad connection.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I
What's
can hear you.
what's
Can you hear me?
yeah what's yeah can what's the last sentence?
Just like you try using Excel, something like that.
Yeah, I try using Excel to do the English conversation, and I think you can see it because I share the file with the daily conversations email address, right?
Hmm.
Mm. Yeah. So yeah. So so this is the strategy to deal with a mistake, and it's related to Pratfall effect. Yeah. And the first you admit that you make a mistake, and then you are confident, you are honest. Yeah. So it can yeah, because everyone will make mistake. And yeah, but if people can see some of your personality from a mistake, some of the good personality from mistake, and you can imagine, you can think like it's something like the good personality offsets the mistake. Yeah, the impact of the mistake. Yeah. So it also could be one of the reasons. And I would like to give another example. This
Hmm.
example is I learn from one of the persons. Uh, this is not my friend. This is kind of like the lecture. Okay. Uh, and the lecture is the lecturer and the speaker is like teaching about the relationship between men and women. And
Hmm.
in one of his course, he mentioned that about uh, he shared his story that in the past uh, he going to the bank, and then uh, there's one girl at the counter is very beautiful, and and at that time he make a mistake, which is uh, and, when he leave the counter. Yeah, when he leave the counter, and then he accidentally uh, he accidentally uh, uh, put off the rubbish bin, and so all the rubbish from the rubbish bins inside the rubbish bin sprayed on the floor,
Hmm.
and he also fall down. Yeah, yeah, and it's a loud sound. Yeah, and all the people look at him. Yeah,
Yeah.
and what he did, and he stand up very very slowly, and then and then uh uh, and then like take the rubbish back into the rubbish bin. Not much rubbish split off. Yeah,
Hmm.
but it's just make a very big sound, and it's
Yeah.
like a steel rubbish bin. Yeah, so
Hmm.
it's really make a big sound. And then after he did that, and then he stand up, and then he look at the girls, and the girl also laughing. Yeah, also like smiling, and then he slowly he slowly went back to the counter to the girl and say, uh, "Are you free tonight?" Yeah, it's yeah, it's something that "Are you free tonight?" or something like oh no no what he asked, is not "Are you free tonight?" Is it was when you off. Yeah,
Hmm.
when you off this day. Yeah,
Hmm.
when you end your work, and
Yeah.
then the girl say, why I off, let's say I off at like 4 p.m. and then this lecturer, this man say, okay, uh uh I come here at 4 p.m. And then we go take the dinner. And the girl say, uh you look like so confident, which uh I I will accept your offer. Yeah.
Mm.
And then yeah, and then but the girl accept the offer. Yeah. So I'm not talking about so the whole point, the implication here is I'm not talking about you make a mistake and then you make other people look at you and then so that you can do something and then you can achieve something that you
Mm.
that you want to achieve. It's not the things. It's something like when you make a mistake, how can you make use of the mistake and turn the
Mm.
mistake from bad to good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the point. So the point here is even though there's a Pratfall effect, but uh we may not make the mistake purposely, but we still can make use of the mistake.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my sharing today.
Mm. Yeah. For your last point, it reminds me of one of the techniques of yesterday topic, which is I forgot about the term, but it's something like when an unexpected things happen and in during your presentation, and then how are you going to react, and what are you going to do at that particular time, right?
What?
The yesterday topic is the yesterday example is like uh, let's say is there are some technical issues during your presentation. Yeah, do you still remember the video from How Katie?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that is something also a good example, which is quite similar to your example just now.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then before your last point, and then just now you talk about uh, giving excuses for the mistake that we made. And yeah, so to me, I feel like uh, the excuse is not only for the listener. The excuse is not only kind of like creating um, uh, um, the excuse also creating the excuse is also affecting uh, the person who make the mistake, right? Let's say yeah, just like your example just now, maybe you give an excuse like you are very busy these few days, and then maybe this excuse also become an excuse of the mistake that you made. So you will think like
Mm.
is this okay, and then these things already uh, settled, and then it's closed, and you won't like uh, do some
Take serious.
reflection. Yeah, is it
Mm.
something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. This is my point. Mm.
Mm.
Which is be honest to other people and also be honest to yourself because
Mm.
uh who are going to care the mistake? Do you think it's people or yourself? And you should be the person who care more about your mistake, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all for my sharing.
Mm. Okay, that's all for today's conversations. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversation? Please tell us what you think of our conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocal mistake that we make, please also comment to let us know because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.